Dr. Steelhammer, Vladimir Klitschko, and Dr. Iron Fist, Vitaly Klitschko, Shannon the Cannon Briggs, and Butterbean, Cruiserweight King Jai Obataya.
A natural weight for him.
I would like to see him return to 147 pounds and fight for a world title there. I mean, look, we have Boots there. Obviously, he's looking to unify and become undisputed and move up. The belts are going to become available. I just know that Conor Benn can sell out any arena in the UK now, fighting at 147 pounds. But the public, His Excellency, everybody's going to want, you know, you heard His Excellency in the ring. He's already, I think he's booked the date here for September. That's right, yeah. So look, we'll sit there. It's very early days, but yeah, I that took my breath away tonight. Took my breath away. I can't even, like I said, I posted. I'm not even going to moan about scorecards because for me, this kid won tonight in many ways. And if it wasn't the result, it was just he won in life, and everything that he went through, he just absorbed it, come through the other side, and he's someone that people should look up to and understand that no matter what you're going through, you're going to come out the other side. And he did that tonight. We're very proud of him.
Radio Raheem down in front. Thank you, first of all, Conor, for an incredible effort. It was an entertaining night of boxing. The way that you lost the fight isn't the way that I heard anybody predict it. And the fact that you were able to take his punches, as you said, you hurt him a few times. He's on his way to the hospital, apparently with a broken jaw. So all of the things that people were saying you couldn't do, you did. What do you think was the margin that actually was difficult for you, or maybe swayed it the other way?
I don't think people put enough credit on the boxing ability, you know, for me. You know, doing 10 rounds, doing 12 rounds, I'm well conditioned, you know, and I can box. I haven't always got to knock out my opponents. Well, evidently I have, but I mean, I can do 12 rounds, you know, in a weight class. There's 2 weight classes above my weight. You know, the difference in it today, I believe, was just inactivity. There was a lot of emotions going on for me. It's a lot to take in after the past 2.5 years, and I wondered how much it had taken away from me. And I'm glad to see that it's not taking anything away from me at all. Proving I can take punches at 160. I mean, you don't always want to test that. And my goal is to not test that, but also I can dish it out at 160 and comfortably hurt my opponent. You know, Eubank multiple rounds. You know, and having one shaky legs, I just couldn't get a finish, which I put down to ring rust. I just couldn't pull the trigger and get him out of there.
As a fighter, you're obviously going to want revenge, as you said. You feel you can win the next fight. However, at this weight, with the kind of damage that you'll have to take well above your weight class, would it be wiser? Would you consider just fighting at your weight and chasing a championship? As Eddie said, you are a star tonight. I haven't heard anybody criticize you. Some people think it was even a draw. So could this be enough and you just go back to your class and pursue for a championship?
Do you know what's hard? Is it was so close. Well, so people are telling me. I felt like it was close. That's what's hard. Is it was so close and I just didn't get the nod. That's what's painful. Not as painful as Chris missing weight by 0.05, but it was painful. And it was just, if it was as close as people were saying it is, that's what's painful. You know, because I weren't outclassed. You know, I weren't hurt in there. I just couldn't get the finish. I just couldn't pull the trigger and keep it moving. You know, I'm known for having my opponent hurt and getting finished. So it's one of them things where it's like, do I avenge the loss? Do I drop back down to 147 and win the WBC world title? If Barrios is watching, you know, I'd love that. But I feel like this one's, it's frustrating because I feel like I just want to settle this.
And last one from me. Before the fight and after the fight, it seems Senior made a point to come over to you and to Nigel and speak to you. What did he say? That's a question for you and Nigel.
I looked at Chris Senior And I said to him, grabbed him by the neck, and I said, mate, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you turned up. You know, because outside of everything else, outside of all the noise and the promotion and the fight, your relationship with your dad never goes. That's always there. That's long standing. That's without boxing. You know, what's boxing? You know, what is it? You know, because I'd pick the relationship with my dad over boxing any day of the week. You know, so to see them two, if this has brought them together, God, that's worth its weight in gold.
Right.
That's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, well, Chris was just like, you know, sitting down talking to me, saying like, my boy's on top, you know. You know, oh, here we go. But it, like, to me, really, it was just good having him there, seeing him there, like it was a family affair. You know, we lost, but yeah, I ain't really, you know, I didn't really speak to him much, but it's just like, you know, praising my son. I accepted that, and that was about it, really. There was no deep conversation.
Thank you both for an incredible fight and an instant classic.
Thank you very much.
Eddie, you obviously mentioned the potential rematch with Chris Eubank. I was just wondering, obviously a lot was made of the rehydration clause prior to the fight. Do you think there'd be any discussions about potentially removing that for the rematch if it were to happen?
Yeah, I think maybe Junior should come down a little bit lower rather than Conor Benn coming up 2 weight classes. You know, I was baffled. I mean, we knew Chris Eubank's weight all week, right? I knew it at the check weight. I knew it the day after. We knew what he woke up this morning, and he was absolutely spot on this morning, and he was fine. Yesterday, he was tight at the weight. He's always tight at the weight. He's made it the last 5 times. He messed up. He got there an hour late. He could have made it comfortably, but they just ballsed up. That's it. No one ever said, apart from his dad, do you think it's dangerous for Conor Benn to be moving up 2 divisions and fighting someone the size of Eubank? And I think, honestly, the contract, and you guys have got to remember as well, this contract was not a contract that was negotiated between Matchroom and Chris Eubank Jr. This was a contract that was negotiated by the Ring magazine and seller and Chris Eubank individually. And we negotiated our contract individually. Ben Shalom, Chris Eubank, Maz, whatever his name is, they accepted those terms, right? And that's the art of a contract, and the plan is to abide by those terms. So for me, the terms were spot on, as you saw tonight. You saw a very evenly matched fight where a big 160-pounder nearly made his championship weight. He rehydrated, okay. Conor weighed in at 165 pounds, I think, in the ring. Eubank was probably 176, 177. He probably had 10 or 11 pounds on him. And he stood up to it. And I think we got it absolutely right. I think they served you up. One of the greatest fights we've ever seen in this country. But for me, the danger was not for Chris Eubank Jr. The danger was for Conor Benn. And that's why we got to think very carefully about the rematch. Because I don't want to see him in too many fights like that. You know, it's all very well us sitting there and going, wow, what a fight, let's do it again. They're the kind of fights that will shorten your career. And he's got such a long career ahead of him. So, you know, the terms are already agreed for the rematch, with you know, to move forward. And it's the same as the first contract in that respect. So I think we got it spot on with the numbers.
Nigel, one for you. I know you didn't get the decision in your first fight with Senior, but in the second fight, I think many people on that stage over there believe you won. How much inspiration do you feel like you could give to Conor ahead of a rematch that you didn't necessarily get the decision in the first fight, but you can come back bigger, better and stronger?
I think Conor will. I think it's in his genes. He knows what he has to do, and like he knew what he done wrong. You know, laying on the ropes too much, and winging them in. What he done in training, he didn't actually do. But I'm not going to knock him for that. You know, he'll go home and watch the fight and see where he went wrong, and then we'll just come back.
Did you say you're not going to knock me for that while you're knocking me?
Well, you know, you gave it to me, mate. You said Dad couldn't do the business, so I'll have to come and do it. Right, but you know, it's good that we can laugh and joke about it, but we know what we do. We go back and we work hard again. We do everything right, and you know, do what we've done wrong. We're put right, and I'm looking forward to getting back in the gym with my son and starting the whole 12-week camp again. You know, just brush yourself down and then start again. So I'm looking forward to it. He'll learn from this. He won't make the same mistakes.
Right, guys, we're going to get kicked out. They turned the sound off us on the ring as well, so we're going to be kicked out of the stadium soon. So one more question, if anyone's got it. If not, we'll wrap. Any further questions?
Just quickly, there was a lot of need up
Right, you've got to speak louder than that, mate.
Sorry. So, there was a lot of need up between you in the fight, you know, building up. When you go 12 rounds with somebody like that, do you have newfound respect for each other?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate. Yeah. I mean, listen, he still ain't my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? I won't go and sit down and have a chat with him. But of course there is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Come on, answer the question.
I mean, like, there's respect. Obviously, we've gone 12 rounds together, but he's Chris, isn't he?
Like his dad.
So as much, I like him as much as I possibly can.
Cheers, Conor.
Given the situation, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, round of applause for Conor Benn.
Unbelievable performance. You did the whole country proud. God bless you, bro.
God bless you.
Everyone loved your performance. Top man.
Introducing the all-new BYD Sea Lion 7, the luxury electric SUV that's changing the game. Book your free test drive today at the BYD showroom in Sheffield.